Happy Friday and welcome to the 12 News Digital Digest on WJTV.com. I'm Marcus James.
And I'm Sienna Reeves. Here's a look at your top 12 trending stories of the week. The man convicted of killing 8 people in Lincoln County in 2017 has been sentenced to death. Willie Corey Godbolt was sentenced to death on 4 counts after court adjourned Thursday night. Family members of the victim said they felt that justice was served.
I remember my son knowing that he was a Christian and he died a Christian, and I know I will meet him again. I'll hug him, my Jordan, my Juicy J. I'll get the biggest smile from him, that smile that we talk about. Y'all don't get to see that often.
Now, Godbolt's execution date has been set for July 15th, 2020. He could appeal the court's decision.
The University of Mississippi Medical Center and the Mississippi State Department of Health says that they are prepared for possible coronavirus cases in the state. Now, this is on Thursday. They assembled a group of health experts who deal with infectious disease. The medical center says that they are prepared to deal with potential cases of the virus, including those who come through the emergency room.
The screening tool is the very first question we ask them when they present through the door and enter our institution. So once we get their name, if we even get that, we're automatically asking them, have you traveled outside the United States in the past 30 days? Have you had contact with anyone who has traveled? If they answer one of those 2 questions in the positive, we then look at their signs and symptoms to see if they do fit the criteria for this particular respiratory illness. If they do trigger that, they automatically get a screen prompting them to move the patient immediately to an isolation room after they put a mask on them, so minimizing the exposure to the waiting area or any other possible healthcare individuals or other patients that are currently being seen within the emergency department.
Now, doctors advise patients to call ahead to their specific hospital emergency room or clinic if they suspect that they are exposed to the coronavirus.
There have been no confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Mississippi so far, but after a trip to South Korea this month, Southern Miss says a group of students are self-monitoring to see if they have any symptoms. The students visited South Korea prior to Monday's level 3 travel advisory. Health officials say students are at a low risk to get the virus, but they were advised to self-monitor for 14 days, which started on Sunday. While the coronavirus hasn't made it to Mississippi, flu cases are still on the rise.
Yeah, that's right. And doctors are still encouraging people to get their flu shots. Now, the CDC estimates more than 29 million people nationwide have had the flu this year. Now, there have been nearly 16,000 deaths. State health officials say that the rates among children and young adults are higher this year, and you're encouraged to call your local county health department to find where you can get your flu vaccine.
The Mississippi Department of Corrections said another inmate died in custody this week. 36-year-old Omar Beard died early Wednesday morning. The Rankin County coroner says Beard was transported from the Central Mississippi Correctional Facility to a hospital. The Department of Corrections believes he died from natural causes, but his body has been taken to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy. Team Rock filed a second civil lawsuit against MDOC. It represents more than 150 inmates. They want the department to address the prison conditions at Parchman, and they also want the agency to develop a plan that will eliminate health and safety risks within 90 days. You can read more about the document on our website, WJTV.com.
Congress makes a landmark decision, and it's all thanks to the life and death of a teen who helped jumpstart the civil rights movement. Congress approved legislation to name lynching as a federal hate crime. It will be punishable by either life in prison, a fine, or both. The bill was named the Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act, and that's in 1955. Till was tortured, beaten, and shot before being dropped into a Mississippi river. Till was accused of harassing a white woman outside of a grocery store prior to his death, but the woman, Carolyn Bryant, admitted that this was a lie. The move was approved 410 to 4 in the U.S. House, and the bill was co-sponsored by Congressman Benny Thompson. President Trump is expected to sign the bill. On Saturday, a major gas leak in Yazoo County sent a whole town fleeing their homes.
Now, throughout the week, most have been treated and virtually everyone is back in their homes, but the burden has not gone away. The air around Satartia has gone back to normal, making it safe to travel through. But for some neighbors, the effects from the CO2 still lingers. The Douglas family home is close to Highway 3 and was hit hard by the carbon dioxide leak. They feel like they were one of the last to get out.
Had brought the dogs out to use the bathroom before we go to bed. The dogs come back in, but she didn't come back in. She was laid up against the porch. She couldn't breathe. I got her in the house. I called the sheriff's department, and they told me we had a gas leak.
Now, though they didn't require treatment in the hospital after they moved back in on Sunday, Larry and his wife have found themselves coughing frequently and ill. The company, Denbury, shut off the pipe and is in the process of repairing it. The company has allegedly agreed to pay for all medical expenses.
The steel bayou gates are now closed in the Delta. The structure along the Mississippi River and Yazoo backwater levees prevents the Yazoo and Mississippi rivers from backing up.
Following heavy flooding and rain in Vicksburg, Mayor George Flaggs has sent a letter to President Trump. He's asking for federal money to fix Vicksburg National Military Park. In the letter, Mayor Flaggs says nearly 30% of the park is closed to the public. He adds that the repairs are estimated at millions of dollars and could threaten the graves of some troops.
First Lady Ellie Reeves launched her Team Up for Cleanup campaign on Friday. The work will begin at 2 sites in the Jackson area that were filled with trash left behind by the floodwaters. And once the water fully recedes, the First Lady will expand her efforts to other areas, and you can find the location and sign up information on our website at WJTV.com. A special delivery happened along the interstate in Brandon this week. Wayne Evans, who works for MDOT, says that he was working a lane closure when a car approached him.
Now, 2 women jumped out and told him their friend was in labor and they were not going to make it to the hospital. With only a first aid kit, Evans was able to help deliver the baby boy.
That is interesting.
I was in the Marine Corps, and I do have some type of training as far as medical situations. I never was taught that particular type of situation, but I was able to put that training in effect and basically just kept calm and just tried to calm the ladies down or whatever and just did whatever I had to do.
Evans says he doesn't see himself as a hero and that he's the type of person who will always help those in need. Now remember, news, weather, and sports are available 24/7 at WJTV.com and on our news and weather apps.
And as always, be sure to engage us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we'll be back next Friday with next week's Top 12 Trending Stories.